Oh, hey guys, hopefully we're live right now. I'd like to think that we are. First time going live on Zoom, where I'm kind of leading it. I know I go live the other places, but first time going live by myself to try to figure out how to share stuff. So hopefully it's working, and I think that it will. I'm just checking it over here, guys, to make sure. There we go, perfect. So we are going to get started in just a second. We got some people coming on. Can jam out to the song first. We'll start in about 3 minutes, guys. I love reggae. I went to high school in Northern California, went to high school in Mendocino County, Mendocino High School. So reggae was very big in Northern California. One of my best experiences, the most fun experiences I ever had was going to reggae on the river, in the middle of the redwood forest along the river. Gosh, I don't know, 50, 70,000 people would come. It was amazing. So it was good times. So I do love reggae, but we're going to get started here, guys, on how to better cope with what is currently going on in our world. It's crazy. So guys, if you're on, if you like or something, or let me know who's on with me. It's hard for me to tell when I'm on Zoom, actually, who's here and who's watching and who's not. So I just want to make sure we get it. Okay, we'll pause that out and we'll get to it. Stop this. That was Josh Sun, Never Give Up. It's pretty good. I love that video. So anyways, guys, I want to go through this. I think the reason why I wanted to do this and talk about this is because it seems like, and I'm not sure if you're the only one, that is maybe dealing with just a titch of depression, a titch of maybe being a little irritated, a titch of just feeling overwhelmed sometimes, feeling uncertain. There's just this weird feeling going on right now with everything that is happening. And really what inspired me to do this, I literally did this slideshow this afternoon. So if there's some spelling errors or some grammatical errors, please forgive me in regards to that. Like I said, I just kind of what inspired me were two things that happened over the past couple of days. Number one, I had an individual reach out to me that's a business owner, and she was just really, really, really struggling, felt overwhelmed, felt depressed. She was snapping at her husband, snapping at her kids. She felt as though she was walking like in quicksand. Like it was just hard to do stuff in the day, hard to do the things that she needed to do, that she wanted to do. And I'm not sure if you ever feel that way sometimes, where you just feel like your mind is so like kind of just crazy that it's hard to, do the things that you need to do. And there's this depression and this irritation and this I don't think laziness, but there's lack of energy that happens, right? And confusion and all these different things. So, we had a great communication, great talk. She reached out to me, and then another thing happened today. I had a closing with an individual, and this individual man is, the kind of person that you would think would have it all together. And I'm sure that he does have it all together. But I asked him to say, how's it going? He said, gosh, it's not going well. Like, I'm really just having a hard time with everything that's going on just in our world. Just, I'm just, feeling kind of bummed out, depressed. I don't know. I haven't ever felt like this in my whole life. And it really made me think, and this was this afternoon. So I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about it. I want to communicate what may be happening with so many of us, right? I mean, it's affecting me too, everything, right? Everything that's going on, the uncertain, we don't know if our kids are going to school or not going to school, how much they're going to school. Are sports going to happen? Are these, dance classes going to happen? I got 4 kids that are in all these activities. You know, how can that state do this, but we can't? You know, another thing that was very interesting and tough to handle, guys, I'll tell you, I went to a couple of baseball games this weekend for my boy. My boy plays baseball, a couple of them do. And it was very frustrating, like the frustration of going to watch them play and not being allowed in the stands. Like literally not being allowed in the stands to watch, like parents scattered along like the left and right field fence line, kind of peeking in and trying to see. Yesterday we're in Colorado Springs, and the closest we could get to watch our kids was up on the side of a hill where we had to sit and kind of peer down and yell at them. You couldn't really see what's going on. And that stuff just feels weird, right? It just doesn't feel that great when you don't have that much control. So it's something that I want to talk about today. So we'll go through this, and forgive me if the slide, if there's some I literally just put this together. I had to have my kids kind of help me with this too. So how to better cope with what is currently going on in our world. So what may help us? What may help us with this? I really want to give you some tangible things in regards to this that'll help me, that'll help you get out of that funk, get out of that depression. You know, I'm not saying it's going to work every single time, right? But these are just some things. Now we're really going to dig into it here. So number one, control what we can control and release what we cannot, and releasing what we cannot, right? There's certain things we can control and there's certain things we can't, right? So we need to control what we can and then release what we can't, all right? Clearly identify then what we can control. We need to clearly identify what it is that we can control. Now you got to stick with me on this because we're going to get to this and we're really going to get deep into what I'm talking about here, okay? And then what does that control look like? We're going to get to that, okay? So what may help us? Controlling what we control, releasing what we cannot, clearly identifying what we can control, and what does that control look like? Now I love this because what we're going to be talking about is the 6 basic human needs by Tony Robbins. And he talks about this. The power of positive thinking is the ability to generate a feeling of certainty in yourself when nothing in the environment supports you. Guys, I don't know if you're like me, but does it really seem like anything that is going on in the world right now, literally anything, supports us, right? It's like nothing, right? That's what it feels like. So that power of positive thinking is the ability to generate a feeling of certainty in yourself, right? What we do, what we can control, right? That's what we need to get to. So we're going to talk about the 6 human needs by Tony Robbins. And listen, all of these needs that we're going to talk about tonight, all of these needs are being tested in a significant way right now. It really, really is. And you're going to see that when we get to it, okay? When we get to it. Hold on. Okay, so what are these needs, guys? Number 1 is certainty, okay? Now I'm going to go through these real quick and then we're going to break them down. Certainty is one of the 6 basic human needs. Uncertainty, it's like, what do you mean? You just said certainty and then uncertainty, what does that mean? Number 3, significance. Number 4, connection and love. Number 5, growth. And number 6, contribution. Okay, those are the needs that we're going to talk about, and those are the needs that are being tested right now in our life tremendously. And listen, in our life, when any one of those areas are being tested, it throws us off. It just is what it is. It just does. And that's why, you know, 4 or 5 of these different things are being tested in every single one of our lives right now. And that's what's making us feel the way that we feel. So what do these mean? What do these mean? So certainty. 6 basic needs. Certainty. Humans need to feel certain that they can avoid pain, okay, and gain pleasure, okay? This is incredibly important. So how is that being affected right now, guys, with us? All right? What I talked about, there almost seems to be no certainty on what's going on, right? We don't know. We have no idea what's going on, right? There's so much uncertainty. Like I talked about, the kids go to school, not go to school. When's the schedule? Is this sport going to start? Is that sport not going to start? Do I go to work? When I go to work, kind of how do I need to act? How do I need to behave? I go into one place, they enforce the mask. I go into another place, they don't enforce the mask, whatever it may be. All these different things, right? there's no certainty, right? The elections, who's going to get elected, who's not, all these different things. There's no certainty going on right now, right? If you think about it. Number two, uncertainty. Okay, you might say, well, there is a lot of uncertainty, but what are we talking about here? We're talking about humans need stimuli and a change of environment. Okay, we like surprises. Okay, uncertainty, just in the sense that there's that lack of, what we're missing there is the uncertainty. It's all these different surprises we like, but we don't like surprises. The surprise we don't like, we call them problems. And you really got to think about that, guys. Uncertain, variety. Okay, you can look at this like variety. All those different things. That's not going on. We don't have much variety going on in our life right now, especially in the quarantine and the different things. So that's being tested right now as well, is the uncertainty, right? We need a little bit of uncertainty, and we need a little bit of good uncertainty. What is happening is we're getting bad uncertainty, and we call those then problems in our life, right? We like the uncertainty, like surprises and cool little things that we can deal with there. Let me get that thing off. Okay, but that's not the uncertainty that we're getting right now. Okay, significance. We need to feel special, unique, important, and need to feel significant, like we matter. Guys, I'm telling you right now, we don't really feel too significant. When I was at those, the baseball games yesterday, it was weird because we were all up against the fence, like peering in and trying to see through the bushes and through the stands, our kids. It didn't make us feel too significant. It made us feel the opposite. It made us feel actually like caged, like some kind of caged, weird animals or something. It was odd. Definitely did not feel significant. Okay, didn't feel like we necessarily mattered, right? And that's how what's going on, a lot of everything that's happening right now in our life. Okay, if you're relating to any of these things, guys, like it, heart it, comment. I mean, I'm not sure who's watching. I can't tell who's watching right now, but if you like it, if you heart it, I don't know, maybe it helps with the feed so other people know about it. I don't know. Number 4, connection and love. Now, this is a big one, guys. Connection and love. One of the 6 basic needs. We need to feel a strong feeling of closeness with other human beings. Now, come on. If that hasn't been tested, I don't know what has. I mean, connection. Oh my gosh. It's one of the biggest things that we're dealing with right now in our real estate offices, right? Agents feeling connected to one another, developing the culture, building each other up, right? Connection and love. That's what we want. And when we're isolated, when we're quarantined, when everything is done on Zoom or we're not face to face, belly to belly with individuals, okay, that's a basic need, and we don't feel good. We need to feel connection. We need to feel love. We need to feel that closest. And that's been tested tremendously during this time. Okay, growth. Progress equals happiness. We become bored, tired, and unhappy when we are not progressing. Listen, it's very hard to progress as a parent when you have no idea what's going on with your kids, right? You don't know if they're going back to school. You don't know if you're going to homeschool. It's very hard to grow in your job and your career when you don't even know if you're going to have a job or have a career too much longer, right? All those different things. It's very hard to grow physically sometimes when you're so used to going to the gym and this and that's not happening, or, it may have started up, but all those different things, right? Progress. It's hard when we don't know, right? We get out of our patterns and stuff and how to grow. So, that's being tested as well. Let's get to the next one. Thanks for sticking with me. And contribution. The secret to living is giving. Guys, it's hard to contribute. Now, how do I want to word this? It's hard to contribute when you don't feel that great, when you feel like crap. It really is. So if all these are getting tested up here, it's hard to do number 6. What we have to do sometimes is do number 6, and then, right, then we can maybe start to feel this. So if you do number 6, okay, maybe you have to grow to contribute a little bit, just like what I'm doing right now. I had to put together this PowerPoint. My kids had to teach me how to do certain things on the PowerPoint, right? I feel connected when you guys like and heart and comment on this thing, hopefully, and share it, right? I feel significant when I'm doing a little bit. If you're watching, I feel blessed and happy, okay? So all these different things. So sometimes we have to push through and we have to contribute, but that's a basic human need. But it's hard to do that when we feel like crap, when we feel irritated, depressed, bummed out, overwhelmed, all these different things. Okay. So what then can help us? Okay. So what you may be saying, great, Damon, now I feel all these, obviously some 6 basic human needs. Yeah, they're not working that well for me right now. What can I do? Okay. So let's go through this. Control, number 1 is control. What we can control are actions. Okay. Control what we can control, and we can control our actions. Now listen, we're going to go deep into this. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the conversation that I had with the business owner the other day when she felt overwhelmed. Okay, control what we can control. Okay, don't worry about what we can't control. I know it's hard. You may have to stop watching the news, all these different things, but you got to control what you can control, and those are your actions. Okay, identify the important daily actions and take in the important areas of your life. Okay, that's a little identify the important daily actions to take in the important areas of your life. I could have reworded that a little differently, but basically what we need to do is identify what those important actions are. Okay, we need to identify what is going to make us feel good in the day, and then do that. Do that. Action, guys. When we start to do things, when we create momentum, when we do, it creates a certain feeling in our life, and then we feel like we're progressing. We maybe feel connected. We feel a little bit of accomplishment. We feel a little bit in control, but we got to do it. Now I know sometimes it's hard, right? Because we feel like we're in freaking quicksand. We feel like we can't do. We know what we need to do, but it's hard. You don't feel like it. You're bummed out, depressed. You'd rather sit on the couch and freaking just do whatever, right? But we can't do that. We need to take action. Protect those actions. Guys, when we identify what are those important things, and we're going to get to those, we're going to talk about that, we need to protect them. They're like gold. You know, somebody commented on one of my Facebook posts the other day, we're going to talk about in a real estate meeting, that she just doesn't feel like she's doing the things that for herself that she needs to do, right? She just isn't, and she feels overwhelmed. She's just not doing the things that she knows that she needs to do to recharge for herself. So once we identify those things, we need to protect them. I talked about this before, guys. Some of the biggest reasons why we're unhappy is because who we want to be and who we actually are don't align. And what I mean by that, we start to let these other things creep into our life and take away from the things that we know that we really should be doing and what we want to do, right? A perfect example. We need to maybe exercise, but we get overwhelmed and we let work take over, and then we don't exercise, and then what happens? We feel like crap because we didn't exercise, right? But you know, sometimes you may not feel like it, but then you exercise and then you feel pretty good, right? I actually exercised today. I needed, so let me tell you what I thought, okay? So I got busy today and I knew I wanted to do this, and I was trying to finish this slideshow real quick, or this PowerPoint presentation. And I knew that I wanted to feel good when I was doing it for you guys. So one of my things is I need to exercise in the day. I don't care what it is. I need to do something, right? Just do something, move around, get something done. And I knew that I had to protect that, or I wasn't going to be that great speaking to you guys tonight. It just wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to feel that good about it. I wasn't going to. So I protected that thing and went out and ran with a 25-pound weighted vest and got at it. And now I feel pretty darn good, right? But if I wouldn't have done it, I may not have the energy that I have right now to share with you, right? So I protected that action. Oh, there we go. Sometimes I forget what I had on the slideshow because I just did it. So I'm clicking stuff and like, oh, do I have another point here? So we need to control the front end and the back end of your days. There's 2 parts of the days that you can control. You can control the front end and the back end. And those are the most important things that we need to protect, guys. We need to make sure that we have that morning routine. We talk about the miracle morning, whatever it may be, however you want to do it. You got to protect the morning. You got to protect the morning. Okay, if you got kids, you got to get stuff done before the kids start, or if you got kids and work, you got to get stuff done that's going to be incredibly important to you and what it is that you need to do, those important actions before the day starts. And then what you need to do is you need to finish out the day with the activities or the things that you need to do that will then make you feel better, right? And you need to identify what those are. And that's what we're going to talk about. Got one more? Yep. And then we need to have a daily plan. What is not written down, guys, does not exist. Okay. I've talked about this so much before. We need to finish the day before it starts. Finish the day before it starts. And what that means is you need to write stuff down and you need to have the day planned out. And what are your most important activities? What are you going to get done? You know, one of the things that I taught to that business owner previous, that girl that was overwhelmed, she had no plan in the day. She would just get up in the morning and she wanted to kind of do these things for herself, but it was never written down. And then the day would get super busy and she would just kind of feel overwhelmed because she had no clarity on what it is that was important to her, what it is that she needed to get done that was going to make her feel better, right? It's so important that we do that. Let me see what my next one is. Well, let me go back here. So what we're going to do, guys, is when we talk about that, what can help us control? We can control our actions, identify the important daily actions, protect those actions, okay, and control the front and the back end and have a plan. So when we talk about having a plan, now I'm going to go back to what I talk about so much because I think it's the basics, right? I really think it's the basics. It's not like I'm coming up with anything new here and this and that, okay? But I talk about it a lot, is we need to identify the important areas of our life, okay? And I know you guys have heard me talk about this before, but it's so important. Now, let me give you an example where this plays into the conversation I had 2 days ago with the entrepreneur, the lady that had a good business, but was just overwhelmed, cried on the phone with me, was upset, snapping at her husband, snapping at her kids, didn't have any clarity, right? Okay, so one of the things that she said to me was, I'm just going to give you this example, you know, my gosh, spiritually, I need to go back to church. I haven't been going to church. I need to go to church on Sunday. And I'm like, okay, well, is that what you really want? Is that what you really want? Do you really just want to go to church? Or is there something else that you desire? What do you desire in that area of your life, in the spiritual area of your life? And she's like, I don't know. I just want to be, you know, close to God. I said, bingo. You want to be close. You want to be connected to God. You got to identify, guys. We got to break it down. We got to break it down. So this, when we talk about having a daily plan, what is not written down does not exist. This is what I want to talk to you about. Okay, so this is my day page. If you contact me, if you're like, dude, can I get a copy of your day page? Text me, email me, call me, whatever it may be, and I will send you one. I will send you a PDF of this. I'll send you a Word document of this, and you can edit it. You can have, you know, 5 goals or visions, however you want to do it, tweak it. But this is what I'm just using this as an example, okay? When we talk about those six humans' needs, certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, growth, contribution, how all those things are being affected, one of the things that we've talked about that's going to help us is to control what we can control. And one of the things that we can control are our actions that we do in the most important areas of your life. Now, you may be thinking, Damon, what are you talking about, the most important areas of your life? I don't understand. Okay, well, let me give you this analogy. A lot of times, the important areas of our life are like the 4 tires on our car, right? So if we're trying to move forward in life, if we're trying to progress in life, which is important, which is one of the 6 basic human needs, if one of our tires or one of our areas of life, we don't have clarity on what it is that we're trying to achieve, and we haven't identified the 1 to 2 to 3 actions that we need to do in those areas, okay, and that tire or that area of life is all freaking jacked up and you have no idea and you're overwhelmed and you just have no clue, your car is not going to progress down the road. You are not going to progress down the road of life that smoothly. It's going to be pretty bumpy. And listen, life is incredibly bumpy enough, guys. It's hard. And when I tell this, listen, this doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form that your life is going to be easy. I'm not saying that at all, but it's going to help you go down the road a little bit smoother. So I'll give you the examples in my life and you can add your own. So right here, goal. Again, this is my plan that I write down every single day. You can put goal or vision. Number 1, just like we talked about with that individual, It's not about necessarily going to church on Sunday. She wants to feel connected, right? Again, one of our 6 basic needs, connected to God. So that's what I write there. I am connected to God. Now, there's not 1,000 things that I need to do necessarily for me to feel connected to God. And one of those things is to not go to church, right? I mean, if I go to church or not, that's important, but that's not my daily things that I need to do, because first of all, church isn't every single day. I don't want to feel disconnected on Sunday. I want to feel connected every single day. So for me, what I write here is meditation, okay? Right here, meditation and prayer. So I meditate every single morning. Just started that. It's really helped. I would recommend you guys do that. There's some great meditation apps. And then I pray, and then I journal and scripture. So I have a little bit of scripture reading, and then I journal on what I read or journal on my prayer. So listen, those are the things that are done in my morning protected time. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're a Christian or whatever it may be, but right here, this is one of those morning protection things that you can do, right? Get up in the morning, do your gratitudes, whatever it may be, do your meditation, prepare for the day, journal, all those different things, do your Bible study, do your encouragement reading, whatever it may be. That right there, that's important. Number 2, okay, is my relationship with my wife, my marriage. That is important to me. If you're in a relationship, that's a big wheel, right? That's a big wheel. So what I want to do is I want to feel connected. So I say connected here. Connection is a big thing to me, guys. Listen, when we don't feel connected to others, that is a big, huge hole in our heart, and it is a big deal, and it does not lead to anything whatsoever good. So I want to feel connected. Now, in this part of it, I've identified 1 to 2 things that helps me feel connected to my spouse. Number 1 is listen, because I like to talk, obviously. Okay, I need to shut up and listen. Okay, listen to what she says, focus, stop, pay attention. Okay, listen. And number 2 is 30 minutes of quality time. 30 minutes of quality time. That could be walking, that could be watching a show together, sitting on the couch, sitting in the back deck, whatever it may be. Those are the 2 things. Now, that's an important area of my life. But let me tell you what happens, guys. When we haven't identified what it is, have you ever said to yourself in a relationship, oh my gosh, I do not even know how to satisfy that man? Or something like that, right? I don't even know what that person wants. It's just forget it, right? Well, you haven't identified what are the most important things that you can do. So if you do that, right, whatever it may be, your spouse, and maybe it's just, your husband, you say one kind word, right? It could just be one activity. What if you said one kind word and your husband's love language was words of affirmation? You just said one kind word a day, right? You weren't doing that previously, but now you're doing that, right? Maybe one kind word a day. And maybe the second thing is to stay calm, right? Just like I talked about with that individual, she was snapping at her husband. So if she's writing this down, one kind word, and stay calm or stay relaxed, whatever it may be, right? Maybe when that husband says something that might irritate her, whatever it is, because she wrote it down, because she's aware of it, because it's top of mind, maybe she can stay calm. Okay. Now there's different areas right here I have of my kids, right? I am an incredible father, and I have different things like, again, for me is to listen. I write down encouraging words, right? I want to listen to them every day, and I want to give them 1 to 2 encouraging words. I want to be positive. I want to build them up, whatever that may be, right? Different things right here. I say I am super fit. I say no bad in. Does that work every time? What I mean by no bad in is I don't like to put fast food in my mouth and a bunch of crap. Does it always work out? No, but I'm maybe 5 days out of 7 or 4 out of 7, not bad. And then I could do better. And then 30 minutes a day, high intensity workout. I just pick whatever, right? But I'm not confused. I'm not complicated. I'm like, oh my gosh, what should I do? I don't know what I want to do. I just don't put any crap in my mouth most of the time. And then I just exercise, work out. I don't know. Write something down and get it done. Again, these are the actions. These are the things that you can control. You can't control what the politicians are doing. You can't control what the school district's doing. You can't control what the different regulations are going to be. You can't control any of that stuff. You really can't. As depressing as it is, as bummed out as it is, all these different things, but you can control your actions in what you do every single day in the most important areas of your life. You know, another thing that we did in her business, right? Remember I told you she was feeling overwhelmed, right? She was doing all these different things. She was in the bookkeeping, she was in this and that, and all those different things that she didn't want to do. Well, I let her know, I said, hey, you can hire a virtual assistant, get that done, hire somebody to do all the crap that you don't like to do. She had the income to do it. You can do that incredibly cheap with a virtual assistant. And then we wrote down, talked about what it is she's trying to do. And then we identified the two things that's going to make her feel, see, it was the things that she wasn't doing that she knew she needed to do that made her feel overwhelmed or not accomplished in her business that she wasn't doing. So what we identified is she needs to reach out to 5 people a day with personal touch, communication, stirring, emotional, communication where it makes that person feel good, past clients, whatever it may be. And then she needed to at least add 3 people to her database every single day. 3 people. Just add 3 people to your world. And that's what she needed to do with her business, right? If she's communicating with past clients and with current clients and just kind of talking, right? Because she wasn't doing any of this. She was just feeling overwhelmed. She didn't know what to do. But if she got that done, adding 3 people to her database, now she knows she's getting that important stuff done in her business, right? She's taking control of that. She's gained clarity on what it is that she needs to do. Now, this right here, guys, is your to-do list. These are the things that you write up on here. So number 1, listen, you need to identify the most important areas of your life, okay? And you need to identify the 1 to 2 actions. If you get them done every single day, you'll be happy in that area. Guys, there's not 1,000 things, right? There's not 1,000 things, but you need to identify what they are. And listen, if you got to adjust, you got to change in a month or whatever it may be. It's like, I think there's some other things that's not really working to feel connected to God. I need to maybe, do this or whatever it may be. Maybe, the journaling isn't working. Maybe it's me getting out, taking a walk, putting in the headphones, some worship music, and then I feel really connected. Whatever it may be, guys, you need to identify it. I'm not sure what it is, but if you need help, I can help you. You can reach out to me. And then this is kind of the to-do list, right? Like whatever. I use this for real estate. So, call so-and-so, inspection resolution on 156, it could be anything like get milk at the grocery store, whatever it may be. And then this right here, you rate your day at the end of the day, right? How did I do spiritually? Plus or minus, real simple. How did I do today, right? Did I do the things I wanted to do? Family-wise, how was I as a father? How was I as a mother? Did I get the things done that I needed to get done, right? If you didn't, if you snapped at the kids, put negative. At least you're aware of it, right? You're taking inventory at the end of the day. You're reflecting on that day and seeing how you did. That's going to be incredibly important, right? You're looking at every day, reflecting and seeing how can I do better tomorrow, which will then help you with those 6 basic human needs of progression, right? Progressing, that's a big one. Okay, physical, how did I do today? Did I do the things I need to do? Did I exercise or did I have too many Twinkies? If you had too many Twinkies, put a negative. Do better tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. Financial, how did you do financially? Plus or minus? I did really good. I didn't go to Starbucks 8 times. And I took work as opposed to going to getting it. I took food to work as opposed to getting whatever it may be. Career, did I do the things I did? Yes, I did. Plus, socially, how did I? No, I didn't do that good socially. Maybe one of the things that I wanted to do to feel more connected is to reach out to 1 person a day with a nice, kind text or a call or whatever it may be. I didn't do that today. So you put a little negative here. Okay, whatever it may be. Recreationally, did I do something fun today that I like to do? I don't know what it is. It could be I like to wrestle around with a dog and laugh and joke and all those different things. Did I do that today? No, I was bummed out, depressed, not feeling good. So put negative there, whatever it may be. Mentally, how did I do mentally today, right? If you watch too much news, okay, and you put all that crap in and you're pissed off and irritated and upset and overwhelmed because you think that the world is coming to an end, and all these different things. You put negative. But if you got up in the morning, and you took time and you did your gratitude, you did your prayer, you did your meditation, you took your walk, whatever it may be, whether that's in the morning or afternoon, okay? You turn the electronics off. You stop getting on social media right before you got to bed and looking at everybody's highlight reel and looking at how the world may be falling apart, and you put on some soft music. Maybe you read a book, you just had conversation with your loved ones, and you did pretty good mentally. All those different things there, right there. Okay? So guys, I hope that makes sense in what I'm saying to you. If you're kind of tuning in late, go back and watch this. Go back, because what's happening right now is, listen, our 6 human needs, I want to read this thing from here, hold on, are being tested. Okay? I want to write this, that all dysfunctional behaviors arise from the ability to consistently meet the 6 basic human needs mentioned above. Okay? So when those needs are not met that we talked about in the beginning, okay, which is, and I'll get to them, certainty, uncertainty, variety. Number 3, significance. Number 4, connection and love. Number 5, growth and contribution. When those are being tested, and they are incredibly being tested right now, we are not going to feel that great. So what I talked about in the very beginning, guys, is to control what you can control. And what you can control are your actions. And when you protect those most important actions in your life, you protect those, and you wake up in the morning and you get going no matter how hard it is, when that bed and your body feels so heavy and you feel that you cannot get out of bed, you just want to sleep the whole day because you just feel like crap, you don't know what's going on, you're depressed, you're bummed out, you don't want to do this and that, you got to get up. Okay, do the Mel Robbins 5-second rule. This countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up and get going and do the things that you identified are in most important things that you can get done in the morning. Get those done. And then if you protect those, okay, and you have clarity and you planned out and you have written down the things that you need to get done, you got to write them down. You can't wake up, guys, in the morning and say, oh my gosh, I think I know what I'm going to do in the key areas of my life. I think I got it down. I'm not sure, but I think I'm good. I heard what Damon said. I'm not going to write it down. I think I'm just going to remember it all. That doesn't work. Remember we said what's not written down does not exist. So you need to write it down the night before you go to sleep. It's going to get everything out of your mind. You're going to sleep better, have better dreams. Hopefully you'll wake up knowing exactly what it is that you need to do in the most important areas of life, and you protect them. You got to protect them. There's so much uncertainty. You got to protect those things that you have identified. So listen, guys, if you need anything, please, please, please reach out to me. If you want these free copies of my day page or whatever, if you need some help, I love being reached out to. There's my cell number right there. You got my email, reach out to me, and we will go from there. Let me stop the share. Gosh, it's hot in here. It's always hot in my office. I feel like I'm sweating a little bit, which I probably am. Okay. Got that nice little glow going. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Listen, if you think this would help somebody else, if you know anybody else that's struggling, with depression right now, that is irritated, that does feel overwhelmed, that does just not feel good or not feel that right, share this with somebody. I really think it would help. And we talked about the 6 basic human needs from Tony Robbins. Those are important. And every single one of those 6 basic human needs right now are being tested. So like I told you, there's so many of us right now that are having a hard time. We're going through the days, we feel like we're in a quicksand. We just don't know what we're doing. We're like, oh my gosh, like seriously? Like there's some things that come up when we go to the grocery store. We just naturally feel irritated, whether we're wearing a mask or not, because we're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, like what is happening right now? And that's how we feel. So I really feel if you share this with somebody, that would be awesome. I would love it. You make me feel a little bit significant, right? And make me feel like I'm contributing. So anyways, guys, have a great evening. Hope that made sense. And we'll do this again because you know why? Because I forgot to record it. I should have recorded it and then I wouldn't have to do it again, but I didn't. So my bad. We'll do it again. Have a good night, guys. Bye.